What is going on, YouTube comic book community? This is Pope G, and I'm going to show you guys some books. I'm being lazy today. I'm not really lazy because I got a whole bunch of stuff I got to do around the house, but I wanted to do this video, so I'm going live, so I don't have to. I don't even really edit anyway, so I don't even know why I'm worried about all that or whatnot. uh, but I just wanted to show you some books that I picked up from my LCS and from Midtown. So I'll just jump right into it. Uh, this first book is Robotech Rick Hunter #1. And this is a Derek Chew cover. And I had to get my mitts on this. That's one thing, like, I say I'm slowing down my collection. But some of these covers are just like very, 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 very hard to say no to. And for instance, this Night Terrors Zatanna #1, which is a Kendrick Lim cover, is just a very, very, very beautiful book. Awesome, awesome cover. And I probably need to give it a read because I am a horror fan. I picked up quite a few of the like DC deceased covers, uh, but I had to pick up two of these. But I really, really dug these covers, and there's a lot of really cool covers. I'm just a little bit afraid to buy into like these short series because I at first I thought these particular night terrors were going to be like one shots, uh, but but apparently they're not just one shots. So it looks like all these have mini series. I don't know if they're going to be a big tie-in to each other, but like I don't know. I'm kind of sick and tired of like, and it's both major companies, DC and Marvel. They'll be like, oh, here's these really cool tie-in stuff with this big like universal changing thing for their universe or whatever, and it just ends up being most of the times is crap. Uh, I mean, you get a few good hits in there from certain titles that are joining in on this big overarching storyline, but you know, I'm just tired of buying like books #1 to just tie in to a storyline, and it's like in order to get the whole story, you have to like buy every single title, and it's just like we can't do that. I mean, I can't. I'll say I can't. Uh, but and I kind of just don't want to be disappointed, especially being a big horror fan, and like I just don't want to. Like I said, there's a lot of cool covers for these night terrors, uh, but I'm almost afraid to read this one, even because I'm afraid that it might be horrible. Or I might be afraid that it's really good and I want to start buying the other night terrors, and then I'm like 15 books in and come to find out that the Zatanna was the only good one. I don't know. I hope some of y'all are feeling uh, what I'm feeling about that. But right now, I'm just, unless you guys know otherwise and you guys read these books or title of this Night Terrors from DC, let me know if there are any good ones, and I might go out and get them. But this next one, God Almighty, I have to say, like, I've never hated the Incredible Hulk, but I've never been like a huge fan of the Incredible Hulk. Um, but when the Immortal Hulk came out, I kind of dug it and I bought a few issues of it. And I know me and JP from All About Comics was talking to GPAP, uh, and he was saying that the new Incredible Hulk series that's coming out, it's a must read. He said it's going to be fucking good. And so I was like, all right, GPAP. So I picked up the Incredible Hulk #1. I think this is like volume 5. Uh, but yes, this is an excellent read. I absolutely love it, and they definitely went down uh, the horror route with this. And I have to say, like it is. I mean, like even the transformation of the Hulk is more vicious and like horror esque, if you will. Like when you see like the Hulk change, it's almost like it looks painful. Like all the other times, it looks like he's just like doing this slowly growing thing or whatever, and like, oh, I'm glowing and getting bigger. But no, this one is more like it looks like it's painful to transform into the Hulk. And I like the. I don't want to ruin too much, but there's a lot of kind of dark, mysterious like things. Like especially for me, that got me hooked. There's certain elements that the writers are really smart about doing, and the relationship between Banner and the Hulk itself is very, very interesting. So if you haven't read this, I suggest you read it. In fact, I've bought multiple copies of this book. Now I got 2 of this cover. Uh, I got this cover, which I think is really cool. I had to pick up the Scotty Young cover. That's just hilarious. And got the Perez cover. May he rest in peace. Man, that was a hard loss. You know what? But like, oh, man, like losing George Perez was just, man, that hit home for a lot of us collectors. Here, you don't need to see my face. I'll just hold up the Perez while I talk about him. But I have to say, like he loved his fans throughout his whole battle, and you know, like he gave to the fans until he just couldn't give anymore. And man, like how much love of an artist like Perez can just be like, you know, man, I don't even want to say it. Like he knows that his time's up, and he only has like this certain amount of time, and yet he portioned out some of that time for us as fans, and then God rest his soul. That's deep. And that's a commitment to the craft. It's a commitment to who he is, and it's a commitment to everything in the comic book world. And man, losing Perez was hard. Picked up this She-Hulk #15. This was a cover by. Thought this was really nice. Picked up this What If Dark Spider-Gwen #1. It's a Rose Besh cover. Thank you, JP, for getting me hooked on this artist. She is awesome. Definitely one of my top 5. Speaking of top 5, this is a Vampirella. This is a J. Lee Virgin cover. And I like how she's got her middle finger stuck in that gun. And this is crazy. This will kind of tell you a little bit of into the Pope G, I guess. But I have to tell this story of like how I became a fan of this. First off, I've been wanting this to happen for a long time, and it's gonna be like a confession. Like, yes, I'm a juggalo, and like I was a big fan. I got turned on to the Insane Clown Posse. Uh, and Psychopathic Records. They have a lot. They had a lot of artists, and they had Twisted. But one of the funny things was, and I'm going to introduce like this is my favorite rapper. I'm about to show, and I think it's awesome. Um, but it's funny how I found out about this rapper, and this is like back in the '90s. Uh, my brother and my best friend were going to a Twisted concert, and I couldn't attend because I had to go. I had to work that night, and there's no way I could take it off. And so they went, and like a couple days later, they were telling me about the concert, and they were like, "Yeah, there was this dude that opened up for him, and his name was like Blaze, you dead homie." And I just started laughing, and I was like, "His name's Blaze, you dead homie." And they're like, "Yeah," and I was like, I just kept laughing. I was like, "What does that mean?" I was like, Blaze, you dead homie. I was like, is it Blaze? As in Blaze, he is your dead homie? As in like, hey yo, look, there goes Blaze. He's dead and he's your homie. Or it like Blaze your dead homie, like your homie is dead and you should just like roll him up in a blunt and just be like, I'm blazing my dead homie. So I thought that was like one of the funniest things. And so like I looked this guy up, and like this and this was before like iTunes and shit, so like you had to like do research, like uh like you had to get on the interwebs and search out these people and like actually buy physical CDs. So I bought it, and but it came out with a comic book, uh and I'm a huge Blaze Your Dead Homie fan, and this is his comic book. It's Here Lies Blaze Your Dead Homie. And so it does mean it is Blaze, and he is your dead homie. For all of you that were concerned about knowing which one it was, but it's funny is I actually read this, and if you're a fan of Blaze, that the whole comic book is basically just like uh, and it was kind of neat how they did it. It was like telling the story of Blaze and how he became like the dead man walking, and like but like all the words in it was like lyrics uh to some of his songs and stuff, and it was like I don't know. I thought it was pretty nice, and as a fan, it's nice to have a comic book ablaze. Um, Sorry if I bored you guys to death with that, but this is the last book I got to show, and I definitely picked this one up from my LCS, but this is the Incredible Hulk 181, but this is the foily, which I didn't. I have facsimiles of this, or facsimiles of this. But I have to say, I really love the foil one. It's really nice, and I got lucky. They had two of them, so I thought that was really cool. I really dig the full foil of this. I don't know. It's like it just really pops really well, so I really enjoy it. Uh, and I'll close it out with these. I picked up a few figurines. If those of you know, I'm a big Star Wars fan as well, and I'm a big Sith fan, and I'm also a fan of Emperor Palpatine, who is a Sith, or AKA Darth Sidious. But these I found. Uh, these two figures I found were at an Ollie's, and I think they were only like maybe $9, $10. So I definitely had to snag those. Well, I picked that one up, and then I picked up this Baroness figurine. And I was glad that they had more of these in stock, but this I got lucky, and this was their last one they had. But I went into Ollie's one time before because I saw my friend let me know that that they had these on sale for like $10 or something like that. And when I went, they didn't have any Baroness anymore, and I was like, son of a bitch. But I went there like a few weeks ago, and by chance they I guess went in the back, found some more, and I guess that was the only one. So that was pretty cool. And then I went to Walmart and I picked up these bad boys. Picked up another one of these. It's another. And I like how he has like multiple, like the Emperor, but I guess in Return of the Jedi he is known as the Emperor. Uh, I guess at that time, I'm guessing in the original ones, I don't think they ever mentioned his name as Palpatine or whatever. In fact, I think it's interesting because they don't even like in the original movies they don't refer to any of them as like being Sith. But I thought these were cool because the last time I went to Walmart, I was looking for these, but all they had was a Link. But they had some Metroid, which I was super happy to find. And I was the last one because they had Link, but they didn't have Princess Zelda. But they finally got Princess Zelda, so I snagged that. So yep, that's all I got. Um, so thank you for watching. Sorry you had to hear about my past if you're not into the old days. But I'll just close out with another thank you to Tat for this awesome, awesome, awesome artwork. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.